Ladies and gentlemen, in this RedGamerTech.com video I'm going to be talking about Resident Evil 6 and why I'm not going to be buying it, at least for the consoles right now. So, I'm pretty sure most of you are starting to see the reviews for the game, and they're around kind of what I expected, in fact slightly less so. I have a few friends who are going to be covering it for Red Gaming Tech, the channel, and of course they're going to be putting together a let's play of it and their own opinions and thoughts. But I was having a look at some news, basically, on the PC release date for it, and as far as, Capcom are concerned, they, pretty much have said the development started of the PC version after the console. Now, while I understand that PC gaming is not in the same category for most publishers and developers as consoles, because let's face it, at the moment, the gaming industry is in a bit of a slump. But, on the other hand, I don't like the fact that Capcom seem to be so willing to sideline the game in, the you guys get it later category. That annoys me, to be honest, as a PC gamer. Now, one thing I will say in their favour, however, is they are promising the port to be significantly better than Resident Evil 4 on the PC, which I'm pretty sure most of you will agree was a travesty. You couldn't even use mouse controls unless you actually used an additional third-party little add-on, and to be honest, even then it was clunky at best to get working in some cases. So, I think Resident Evil 5 was pretty reasonable on the console and PC versions, but obviously for Resident Evil 6 we're going to have to be waiting for it, and I personally don't really like that. I don't really believe that development time should be a little bit later, unless, for example, Sony were to pay a significant amount of money to have an exclusivity deal for a certain amount of time, then that's understandable. Or, for example, if a developer does not have much cash, for example, they're fairly small, then I can somewhat understand it. But when a company knows fully well that it's going to make quite a bit of money from a certain game, it does irritate me that it's not released. Now, that's just my opinion. I know some people are going to disagree with it. So, what about Resident Evil 6? Now, I admit I do own a PS3 and a 360, but primarily I am a PC gamer. I just prefer it. It's just that simple. Some people might consider me a PC fanboy. I would disagree. I would just say that's just my chosen method to play games. And that's not to say that I'm not looking forward to the new consoles like, the PS4 and so on. But in terms of Resident Evil 6, I probably won't be buying it for the consoles just because of that. At the moment, my jury's still out on it. I am actually partially considering renting it for the console. Not to complete it, but just, to try it out. Or maybe borrowing a friend's copy just to see it. But, if I do want to play the thing, I'd rather play it on PC where at least the graphics are going to be improved and so on. How much so obviously depends on how much work they actually do, whether, the textures are vastly upsampled and so forth. But nevertheless, hopefully it won't be too long away. We can only hope, of course. As for the rest of it, and my opinions generally on console gaming, obviously Assassin's Creed, same thing. We're going to have to wait a little bit longer for it on PC. And, you know what? I don't like that. I mean, I also have a thing, and to be honest, I could produce an entire video on this alone, of where I absolutely detest having to wait for regional launches, particularly on PC games. Now, obviously, there are sometimes language issues. So, for example, Japan to, let's say, English, Japanese to English takes a while to translate, and I can somewhat understand that if the game was never intended, because I didn't think it was going to sell particularly well, to be translated. However, for the most part, if games released in, say, America, it really irritates me no end that we have to wait further for it to be released in Europe. Or vice versa, indeed. It has sometimes been the opposite way round. And obviously now, with the advent of Steam, there's just no need for it. And to be honest with you, it just pisses me off. But there you have it. The reason that I'm intending to possibly rent it on console and ultimately buy it on PC is I believe that I would much rather support the PC platform at the moment. as it's my chosen one. So there you have it. I'm siding with it, not in a political sense, I suppose. So anyway, hopefully it's kind of given you guys food for thought. I'm just more curious about what PC gamers who have been looking forward to the game are actually going to be doing. Are you going to be waiting for it, or are you going to buy both copies? I know a few friends who are actually going to be buying both versions of it. I actually have one or two friends, believe it or not, who own literally every version of Resident Evil 4 that was ever released. So that includes the original version on Nintendo's GameCube, the PS2 version, the Wii version, as well as the PC version, and pretty much everything else you can imagine. So there you have it. But anyway, I think that's kind of a bit of a digress. But anyway, hopefully you guys will have some opinions on this. Please let them know below, and I will see you guys soon. So take care of yourselves and bye for now.